Hi, glad you could join us. I'm Annette Sherman. This is Community. We have such an incredibly fantastic community. And if you're not aware of it, I cannot imagine that you've lived here very long, because not only do we have marvelous theater, not only do we have so many wonderful things that are happening, we have our own fabulous, worldwide, world-known opera. People call me and email me and they want to know when our opera season is going to start, because they arrange their trip here to coincide, to be here, so that they can see each and every opera. Well, today's program is dedicated to opera, and I have the man who really knows so much about opera that I can ask him anything in the world about opera. He knows the answer. Let me introduce my very special guest, Richard Russell. And Richard is officially the executive director of Sarasota Opera. But Victor Dorenzi is the maestro. Mm-hmm. And we used to do programs, as you may remember, because what was your previous function?
I was the director of marketing for 5 years.
Director of marketing, the best director of marketing I have ever worked with. He anticipated my needs, and so, I know what you're going to have. It's on its way to you. He was great. And then you left for a while because
Right.
You were offered another situation.
I ran an opera company in Princeton, New Jersey called Opera New Jersey, and then came back after 2 years to become executive director of Sarasota Opera.
And I stood up applauding. Oh, I'm so glad Richard is back. Okay, and you still do that kind of perfectly wonderful job, because you know all of the various jobs that have to get done, and you see to it that they are done. And if they're not done, you do them. But which is not the best way to fly, but nevertheless, the job gets done, and so I know it is service to me. I want to talk about the season, and I want to talk about what it's going to be and who's going to be in it. We have some pictures for you and dates, and if you don't have this brochure, you can get one very easily by stopping into the opera office.
Right. You can stop in just the lobby of the Opera House. We have our box office there, and you can stop in there and pick it up, or just give us a call,
Okay.
and we'll send
Let's
it to you.
put that number on the screen. I hope you have it, the number to put on the screen, which is on here, but I'm not sure it's right. I know it's right on here, but I'm not sure it's the number you want them
It
to
is.
call.
They can call 941-328-1300.
328-1300. I don't know if it's on the screen. Okay, we'll need you to put that back on the screen from time to time, because we're going to be talking with Richard Russell about each of the operas that are going to be coming in the height of the season, the winter season. Opera has been functioning here since what?
Next year will be our 60th season in Sarasota.
6-0.
6-0, yeah.
I've only been here about a little over 40 years, and it was established before I got here.
It was.
Yeah.
It's been going on for a long time. It started at the historic Oslo Theater on the Ringling, at the Ringling Museum, and of course since 1984 we've been on our beautiful Opera House.
I think that opera lovers who know opera have already found out about Sarasota Opera, and they make their pilgrimage here, if it is a pilgrimage, each year, because they don't want to miss the quality opera that we have to present. I take credit for it because it's my community as well. And they go back and tell the world about Sarasota Opera. It has received rave reviews from New York, from Europe, from where opera thrives. And it's well deserved. There's a lot of work. When the opera opened in the facility that you're in now, the Opera House, we covered that opening, and we had, I have the video that every once in a while, usually in the summertime, I'll play it when the Opera House opened.
Right.
And it was such a grand, grand evening. And all the people who made it possible were there, some of whom have left our not only our community, but they left the world for something, and then wherever they are, I'm sure they're hearing opera.
Well, I know I get down on my knees every day and thank for the people who came before me who created this opera house. I mean, Dean Allen and Leo Rogers, and of course my predecessor, Susan Danis, because they did such a wonderful job in creating the perfect venue of opera for this community and for opera. And people, a lot of those people who you say come to visit us, come specifically because they can see opera in an intimate, small venue, kind of on the scale of the European opera houses, not the big behemoths like the Metropolitan Opera, which is 4,000 seats. We have just over 1,000 seats.
But nothing is missing, Richard.
No.
The staging is amazing.
Mm-hmm.
The quality of your performers. Now, is that something that you and Victor take care of?
Victor and I work very closely
Yes.
in programming the season. And we like to choose the program that we think are right for the community and right for us at the time. He and I choose the operas together. Then, of course, we have to put numbers to it and make a budget. Then he casts the programs. Very often, he and I talk about the people he's casting, but it's his responsibility to hire the artists and to hire the conductors and directors.
Well, I think, and my background is not in opera, although I was made very knowledgeable with what Richard has taught me and what Victor has taught me over the years to understand and appreciate. And I think if you are an opera devotee, you'll be surprised. That's the only word I can come up with the quality, the caliber of our opera, starting with the sets, starting with the casting, starting with the very each performance is very special and quite marvelous. Let's talk about for a moment, because I know that your youth opera, how do you describe youth opera to people?
Well, we're the only opera company in the country that does a program like this.
Really?
It is we are the most committed to our young people. Other opera companies have youth programs, but ours is year-round. It involves young people in the life of everything that goes in the opera house. So they're on the stage in the operas, they're doing choruses in the community, they learn to sing, they learn to act, they learn about backstage.
They're getting a liberal education.
They do, they learn a lot, and we have a summer program as well. And then the thing that really sets us apart is our production that we do in November. It is of an opera that's written for young people to sing.
It got rave reviews.
Well, this year we did a commission. It was a new work that we hired a composer to write this work. It was called Rutabaga Country. It was based on stories by Carl Sandburg. We had a wonderful production. The reviews were fabulous for it. It was really a great piece, and the kids just loved performing it. And that's the difference between us and other programs. We don't sing at the kids do the singing. We want them to be part of the production.
And they love it. From what age, what to what age? Because we have parents listening and grandparents listening and watching that have youngsters that maybe they feel would be interested in this.
We start at the age of 8, and they go to 18. We don't turn anybody away, whether or not there's a tuition fee, but if you can't pay it, we arrange for scholarships.
If they are interested and they want to do this, they're not turned away. I'm just reiterating what Richard said, because that's very important, because I'm sure even adults, even your adult professional stars, have to be auditioned. And that audition kind of experience is frightening to a lot of people, certainly to an 8-year-old youngster.
Right.
But there's no auditioning. They don't have to pass that in. They're accepted if they want to be part of it.
Right.
And I think that's just great. Put that number on the screen, please, Damon. And that's the number it's the same number that they call.
Right. They can call the box office and they'll be directed to our youth opera program.
Okay. What is that number? Here it is.
It's
328-1300. Easy number. 328-1300. So if you have a grandchild or son or daughter, and they're interested or they're singing all the time, and maybe they've never seen an opera, so that may be the perfect opportunity to have them experience our Sarasota opera. But that's one facet. Okay, the seasons, and there's so much that happens in opera, and people that call me, as I preface the program, and say, when does the winter season start? And I usually make it very clear to them there's so much happening that they're missing. They say, well, they can't come down until, okay, so now that means the winter season only. But we've missed a couple of things at this point, at this program taping.
Right.
The gala, which is
Right.
an amazing event. It's just about the most extraordinary event, one of the most, if not the, that we have in Sarasota, and it deserves opera's stamp of approval because it's that glamorous and that wonderful. The season started already, but not the winter season. That's about to start.
Right. We do one opera in the fall in November, and this year was our most successful, actually, November season ever. This is a season we started in 2008, and we started doing one opera in the fall. This year we did Verdi's La Traviata. Of course, Verdi is a composer who we're known for, and La Traviata is one of his most popular works. And we sold out just about every performance. And we did more performances this fall than we've ever done of an opera. We did 7 performances. We collaborate with the Sarasota Orchestra. And so it was a wonderful thing, and we actually had, we hate to do this, but at the last performance we had to turn people away, people who wanted to come, and we just didn't have enough seats.
Well, you'll know better next season.
Well, we try to schedule things that we know, but this year was a phenomenal success for our fall season. It was a great production.
Well, I think what you've come up with, again, I want to say, if you don't have this brochure, it's beautifully done. Not only with photography, but it's beautifully done with the dates and so forth that make it very easy for you to know when they are and who's in them and so forth. Okay, let's start with some of the pictures. Well, we have a picture, before we leave the youth opera, we have a picture of all the youngsters, and I love seeing the kids getting involved. Can we get that picture? Okay, there it is. Right. How many kids, do you know the number of the total?
We had 86 kids in the production. We had also, there were 3 adults in the production, and then of course we have a full orchestra and sets and costumes, and it was on our main stage. And the opera was called Rutabaga Country, and it was a great success, and we hope that the opera has a great success outside of Sarasota too, because we think it's a very good piece, and I think people really, really enjoyed it.
Well, according to the reviews, everyone in the audience enjoyed it, and they just raved about the quality of the performance. Okay, youth opera, 8 until 18?
8 until 18.
8 to 18. If you have a youngster in your family and they're interested, or you think they're going to be interested, call the number that we gave you. That's very easy, 328-1300, and arrange for the youngster to come in and see everything. Okay, the opera season, the Winter Opera Festival, it's called, starts when?
Opens on February 10th.
February 10th. So you don't have all that much time because these tickets don't sit there. They go. And it doesn't matter where you are in the opera house because it's all prime seating. You can hear and you can see, and the staging is incredible. If I sound like I love opera, I love the Sarasota Opera. I am so proud. I could just burst my buttons how proud I am when anyone sees our opera and says, oh my goodness, we had no idea that you had opera of that quality, because I don't know what they expected, but they didn't expect the professionalism, and of course we have that. Okay, the opening opera is something entitled?
Manon Lescaut.
Okay, Manon Lescaut. And what is the story of that?
Well, this is an opera by Giacomo Puccini. Puccini wrote some of our most popular operas. He wrote La Bohème, he wrote Tosca, Madame Butterfly, Turandot. This was his first big success, and it's a beautiful piece. It's very emotional. It's probably his most emotional opera. It's the story of a young lady, Manon Lescaut, she's probably 18 or 19, and she is being sent by her family to a convent because she likes the finer things in life a little bit too much. And so they want to calm her down, and they put her in a convent. But she's on her way to the convent, and she meets a young man, De Grieux, who she falls in love with, and they run off. But unfortunately, her taste for jewelry and luxury gets the better of her, and when De Grieux runs out of money, she goes to live with an older man who can give her the jewels and luxury
I'm
that
going
she
to stop
wants.
you here because obviously there's much more to the story, but we have several operas,
Right.
and I want to touch on some of these pictures. You have a beautiful leading lady, Sandra Lopez,
Right.
and do we have a picture of her?
We do.
Okay. It's going to come on. There she is.
This is Sandra. Sandra is a wonderful singer. She was with us last year in the Dialogues of the Carmelites, and she is a singer who sings all around the country and in the world, actually. She's sung at the Metropolitan Opera.
Beautiful
Wonderful
girl.
wonderful singer.
Looks
Yeah.
like, it doesn't look like what we think of as the
Yeah.
typical opera singer. She looks more like a major star in movies, in cinema. Okay, the director is none other than
Victor Dorenzi.
Victor, and the two other people are in the cast. Matthew Vickers.
Matthew Vickers was a singer with us who started in our apprentice program. He was an understudy, went on when the lead got sick, he went on and had a huge success, and now he's having a big career. So he's a principal and a wonderful, wonderful singer.
Well, okay, they'd make a lovely couple. And Filippo Fontana.
Filippo Fontana is an Italian baritone. He's new to us. Wonderful, again, another wonderful singer. I'm really enjoying watching him in rehearsals.
Okay, so that's the opening opera, and you can, again, get these
If I can just put in, also the stage director is Stephanie Sundin, who is Victor Dorenzi's wife.
You probably remember Stephanie because Stephanie opened the first evening.
Right.
She sang the lead role in
Eugene Onegin.
Eugene Onegin, and her husband is Victor Dorenzi. Well, it's amazing because they work so well together, and they're not. I guess Victor is critical when he has to be critical of what she's maybe doing, but now she is the stage director, so the placement and the movement of the actors are her responsibility.
Right.
Wonderful, wonderful use of talent. Okay, after that we have something called, and I'm not familiar at all with this opera.
You skipped actually. Carmen is the next.
Oh, Carmen
is the next opera.
You can say that. Okay, I am familiar with that. So we have a picture for you. Let's see that picture.
This is outside the bull ring, of course.
I was just going to say that isn't your set.
No, it isn't our set. It's a picture evocative of Carmen, which the last act takes place in a bull ring. So, you know, it's a very popular opera. We've actually already, a lot of the performances of Carmen are sold out. So if you want tickets to Carmen, you should get them right away.
Oh, my goodness.
And we have a wonderful cast.
Let's see. Do you have pictures of the cast?
I don't have a picture of the
Lisa?
cast. I have a picture of our production, because this is a production we've done before. Lisa Chavez, who was with us last season, is Carmen. She's a wonderful mezzo-soprano.
Beautiful girl again.
Yeah.
And
The
a very,
tenor,
very attractive cast.
his name is Cody Austin, sings Don José, and Stephen Labrie is Escamillo. So it's a wonderful young cast. They're doing an amazing job. It's really a great, great opera, one of the most popular in the repertoire.
In just a few sentences, the story of Carmen.
Carmen is a gypsy who knows what she wants, and she wants Don José, and then when she tires of Don José, she moves on to the bullfighter Escamillo. But Don José is a little jealous, and things don't end up well for either of them.
We're going to move along because we only have 10 minutes.
Sure.
Richard. Okay, the next opera is Norma.
Norma is a bel canto opera by Vincenzo Bellini, one of the most beautiful operas ever written. He wrote these wonderful long line melodies. It's a very popular opera, but it's not done as often as it might because the title role of Norma is one of the most challenging in the repertoire. And we have a wonderful soprano singing this role. Her name is Joanna Parisi.
I think you have a picture.
I have a picture of her.
Let's put a picture on the screen because she's extremely beautiful. Very, very
She was our
beautiful.
Madame Butterfly last year. She's back. It's a very difficult role, but she's going to do an amazing job with it. I know it. It's again a beautiful story, beautiful music, and one of the
beautiful actor, beautiful performer.
beautiful performers. So I think people
And
are really going to love this opera.
It's being directed by Young Bak Kim.
No, it's being directed. Young Bak Kim is one of the singers in it.
Oh, okay,
He
because they
sings.
had
He's
this-
Norma's father. It's being conducted by Victor Dorenzi.
Oh, I thought he wouldn't miss a beautiful girl like that.
Well, he missed a beautiful opera. This is
Beautiful
one of
opera,
his
but
most
he likes working with
favorite
beautiful
opera.
people.
Well, he likes working with all of our wonderful singers.
Okay, let's move along, and this is called Tiefland.
This is an opera. Tiefland is an opera that's not done very often. As a matter of fact, our production of it will be only the third in the history of the opera. It was premiered in 1903. It was done.
Why? Why is it so rarely done?
It was done very often in Germany and Austria in the first part of the 20th century, and then kind of disappeared. And we kind of made a specialty of finding these.
It will be in German?
It will be in German. It's a German story, but it actually takes place in Spain. And it's a story about
I love opera.
It's a wonderful, passionate, dramatic story. It's a story about a woman, Marta, who's been abused and oppressed for many, many years, and she finds this man who will save her from that terrible life she's been in.
While you're talking about language, remind people who may not be aware of it that another wonderful thing about our Sarasota opera is what they're called?
The super titles.
Okay. They're surtitles, but they're not surtitles, they're up above. So you have a choice, and it's difficult sometimes because I want to listen and I want to watch the emotion, but I check the surtitles. If I'm not sure, I read in the program the story or remember what Richard has told me. And so I know what's happening. I know the general happening, and I can listen to the music and the singing and the interaction. And if I want to pick up some dialogue, I can look up at the surtitles.
Right.
And they're up there, and it's again part of our wonderful, wonderful Sarasota opera. Okay, so we have less than 10 minutes, so I want to get all of this in. Did we complete the opera?
The Tiefland, did we have a picture? There's a picture of our leading lady, Cara Shea Thompson, who's been with us. She's a favorite here at Sarasota Opera.
Okay,
and she
she's
sings
going to
the
be
lead
in
Tiefland.
Tiefland.
In Tiefland, yeah.
Yes, one picture. Again, don't you get fat old people?
You know what? Singers are, they know that they need to be on stage, and now we're in a time where people are used to movies and TV, so singers are no longer the very large singers.
Very large. Well, there are, I guess, some that are still a carryover.
There are
but
some.
You haven't got them in these operas. You've got absolutely beautiful young women playing beautiful young women,
right,
and handsome young men playing handsome young men, so that makes the thing even more wonderful. Sarasota Opera, I want to put I want to talk about a few other things,
Sure.
because there's a lot of other activities, and I want to get some of those in. The telephone number to call is 328-1300. Now, here's a tip for you. If you call during the day, you have to call during business hours when the box office is open. But if you get them online, you can call if you wake up at 2 in the morning thinking about that gentleman in the show, or thinking about Richard or whatever, Sarasota Opera. You can email or reach them at Sarasota Opera and arrange for your ticketing, and they will get back to you and confirm and see to it that if it's possible that what you asked and what you want can be gotten. So that's a good time to do it. Otherwise, you're going to find that the opera is generally very busy on the phone. So use your other means of communicating with them.
They can also go on our website and choose their seat.
Yeah, that's
directly.
what I was saying.
Yeah.
The website is what I was looking for, the phrase website.
Yeah.
Okay, we don't have very much time, Richard, so let's just briefly touch on some of the other things that are happening.
Sure. Well, during the season, we have a favorite of ours, the Artist Choice Concert, which is a concert of our principal singers on the stage with piano singing some of their favorite songs, some favorite arias and
when
songs.
is that?
And that, you know what, I don't remember. You have the program,
Okay,
so I
but
don't remember the date, but
okay,
it's in
because
March.
They're going to say it. But if you
Yeah.
get this brochure, you can get it at the
Yeah.
Opera House. Just stop in or call them up and ask them to send it to you. But the best thing is to pick it up and then have it, and get your orders in as soon as possible. I love that. What else is happening?
We have some casual concerts that we do either in our lobby or in the Lee and Bob Peterson Great Room, which is in our pavilion building, of just some concerts by our apprentice artists. We do a concert of the understudies where they get to sing some parts of the roles that they're covering, because we have understudies, we call them covers, for each one of the roles in the opera, and you know, they only get to go on if somebody gets sick. And we don't want people to get sick, so we do another concert for these people to be able to sing parts of their roles.
The fact is that the talent is enormous, and sometimes the heard of or unseen talent is this talent that you're talking about, the covers, the people that are the substitutes, but they can be seen. Get the brochure, and you will be able to look through, because we only have another couple of minutes. We can talk about it, and then you may remember it, or you want to say, what were they talking about on Annette's show? And Richard Russell was saying stuff, but I don't remember what he said, when he said it was going to be. Get this, and it gives you all the dates, all the times, the cost, if there is any, and then there is the opportunity to see the rehearsals.
Right. We have, for some people get the opportunity to see our rehearsals, and also we have our artist roundtables, which is new for us this year. These are talks we have one for the directors, we have one for the conductors, one for the singers, and one for the designers. And these are Saturday mornings, where it's like a panel discussion. We have the 3 conductors of our operas will sit together in a room and talk about their approach to being a conductor.
Does the audience participate?
We do. They get to ask questions. It's a wonderful thing. It'll be on some Saturday mornings. It's $20 to go.
The New York opera must be jealous as they can be, because you're doing everything here. I mean, that they probably would like to do and will copy. But however, the fact is that Sarasota Opera, it's the winter season. If you're smart and if you're quick, you can participate. You can be there. You can enjoy some of these beautiful operas, beautifully staged, wonderfully performed, memorable. That's the key word. I think they're memorable. I love Sarasota Opera. I think you will too. Richard Russell, you are a joy, and you are, as I said when we were planning the program today, I said to my assistant, Lucy, I said, it doesn't matter what I ask Richard. He knows opera that well. He knows all about everything. I am never hesitant to have Richard on, even if we don't have too much time to plan the show, because I know there's nothing you don't know. And first of all, didn't you sing yourself?
I did. That's how I first came to Sarasota Opera almost 30 years ago. I was a singer with the company.
You sang, you directed, you produced, you publicity. So I'm not ever concerned about having enough time to prepare a show, because whatever I ask you, you know the answer. Thank you for being you, and I'm delighted to have you continue with the wonderful, wonderful work that you're bringing to our community.
Well, thank you for having me.
My pleasure. We're about out of time, and we'll see you next time. So I'll say bye-bye for now.
The time really flew. We bid you adieu from community. Want to know why we love it here, so check out Community. Well, it's a who's who, a what's, when and where show. It's a mover and shakers who care show.